Looking for your next night out in Worcester? Tee Up Taproom is the place to be. With 5 golf simulator bays, more than 20 dartboards, a full bar and kitchen, and leagues for both golf and darts running year-round, Tee Up is the go-to spot for competition and community. Swing by Tee Up Taproom at 70 James Street in Worcester and see why it's the city's home for golf, darts, and good times.
Undecided on that. I mean, both guys have been heavy hitters all season long. I would say if I had to pick a favorite, and I don't know if I can even do this, if I had to pick a favorite, Ron Sargent has been the more consistent player over the past couple of weeks. Joe Ricard has been more or less trying to keep pace, trying to keep up the chase as these weeks have gone on, and Ron will be holding his throw here in the opening set and leading off. Rather stylish manner. My goodness, that jersey's looking very nice. I believe it says Dreamboat on the back. What a lovely, lovely nickname. And Ron, we've seen so far tonight, he has been struggling to get off the line with some good visits, able to really pick up the scoring pace after a couple of visits to the board. But Joe, landing that first dart ever so beautifully in there, looking to try and follow up. Might have been wise to go to a different segment of the board, trip 19, trip 18, wide open. But Joe, he's stubborn. He wants to try and force as many darts in that trip 20 segment that he can. And Ron looking like he's just looking for one, if he can even try and find it. Can't get it done. For everybody who is not privy to the inner workings of the WPL, Nick Soldo is right directly to the left of me. We are going to be looking at, hopefully, well, maybe another person here on the casting desk in the coming seasons. Of course, we'll have to figure out how to get that done here in the WPL studio. Our studio is vast. It's cavernous. There are many many pathways that we're not sure where they go, so we have some exploring to do, have some wires to run, but we'll try and look to get that done. Coming back to the game here. Again, Joe Ricard finding some very consistent darts here. He's had his struggles this season. Certainly had some struggles just keeping his darts in line, but when I have to think of some of the more consistent players this season, his throw is so unique too, because he does have this bobble where if you can just see how that little bounce there, and are we going to see the big 180 here from Joe Ricard? No, only finding the 140. But unlike a lot of players who keep their arms steady, stable, not moving, trying to put the dart in the same place every single time they actually go to draw, Joe pulls up to his face and bobbles the dart a little bit just to kind of keep the momentum, the rhythm going. A lot of players do throw like that, and a lot of players don't. Just goes to show the uniqueness of this game. The first dart's in. 2 darts, big 160 potentially. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, my goodness, that would have been a fantastic opening leg take from Joe Ricard if he was able to find that third dart. Ron Sargent under immediate pressure. Rudgy in the chat saying almost like a double clutch. You know, yeah, a little bit of a double clutch action there going on from Joe Ricard. Is he able to find it? Going down to double 10 now. Doesn't want to mess about here. Doesn't want to have this go up to double 5. Not able to pull those darts in, but still not under any pressure. And I've just been informed by our WPL interns running me a note from across our cavernous studio space that indeed, and I guess you guys can hear it here first, Nick Soldo will be joining myself on the casting desk for WPL Season 4. So I guess 2 announcements in one. We'll be coming back for Season 4. More details to come. And we'll have a full commentary crew with both Nick and myself. So can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. And what was looking to be a beautiful leg here from Joe Ricard, almost finding a 160. Now starting to get a little awkward. Ron opportunity now to steal this leg with a 140. If he can find the first dart, and I believe that first dart's into the single 5 segment. So unlucky, able to find the double. Ron, what is this guy doing, man? He's just double bull found, 55 locked in so far. We've seen so many times this season where that's a great third dart, but so many times this season that he's just not able, he can't hit the single bull. He only finds the double bull every single time. Able to find 120 there. Brings the score down to to 20, double 10 remaining, and Joe, I don't think that's the right math. Not sure what's going on here. They seem to be debating the score on the tablet. 50, 45, so 95 plus 5. I believe that's a ton. So able to find the right numbers there. And Joe Ricard looking to correct this 5. So finds the single one down to double 2. And he's going up to the madhouse, folks. Does he stick around? No, he does not. So Joe just wanted Ron to have a whiff of victory before slamming the door in this poor guy's face. Can't say I blame him, but Joe certainly does not want to have it be that close for the rest of the game. My goodness. And it seems here Joe Ricard, again, with the consistent, steady grouping, it just looks so good. Ron, more of like a laser beam type throw. He aims, points, and then just accelerates the dart towards the board, almost like a rail gun or he's just shooting like a pistol or something, but those darts travel at such velocity, such speed, where Joe has a little bit more of an arc to his darts. Many styles on display here at the Worcester Premier League and even just in Central Mass. 60 fired in here from Joe Ricard. And I will be ending the poll a little early so nobody can change their votes as this game goes along. 75% for Joe Ricard, 25% for Ron Sargent. So a lot of Joe Ricard believers after that first leg. Joe able to find that big trip 19, not able to find a pair, but able to find 80. Will push his score down even further. And after that first leg, well, both of these guys' averages have been shot up a little bit, not as high as they would like, but that's what double trouble will do. If you don't want to if you don't want to have any trouble in darts, just hit your double first time. It's not that hard to do. Just find the segment. Of course, that's the name of the game. This outer ring is so tough to hit sometimes. You can have fantastic scoring rounds just blown up by not being able to find that outer ring. And Ron having no trouble finding the inner ring. 180 potentially no, only able to find the 140. We've seen that many times tonight where he's found a beautiful opening too, but not able to find that third. I actually don't think that we've seen any 180s from Ron tonight, though my memory may not serve me well. Joe not able to pick up anything worthwhile, only 60. Bringing his score down to 196. Ron sitting just behind at 200, but here's another perfect first. 2 in there, 180 to leave double 10. Doesn't do it again. Back-to-back 140s. So Ron incapable of filling the bet, it seems, but 60 might be a more beneficial leave than double 10. And Joe, if he finds a 180 here, well, won't get it done. Not only would have been salt in the wound, but would have left him 16. The 140 will leave him 56. So both guys having to burn a dart now to get down to a double. Ron finds the first one. 2 darts at double 20, going down to double 10 now. Not able to find it. Pulls it in by a hair. So Joe Ricard, 16 or 20. My guess is he goes down to the 16 for 2 darts at his favored double 20, down to double 10. Joe has been struggling on double 20 all night tonight, and he's not able to pick up double 10 either, so Ron's coming back for another look. Double 5 needed here for the Dreamboat to tie up this set, and first dart, lucky he's able to get it done. So these guys, we've seen so many times this season, have been neck and neck through their games, and I don't think that this game is going to be any different, folks. These guys, again, they're so used to each other's play style. They're so used to each other's pace. They're so used to each other's mannerisms. Well, there's just a lot that they know about each other. And a solid 140 here from Ron Sargent, leading off the leg in quite a nice manner here. Joe Ricard looking to try and make a correction over to the middle of that 20 segment. Can't get it done. Can only pick up 55. But that's one of the difficult things about knowing how somebody plays is, well, you know what to expect. So when they start hitting better numbers than what you're used to expecting, it can be rather frightening rather quickly. And Ron following up that ton 40 with a solid ton. So after 2 visits, 261 left for the Dreamboat. Joe looking to get out of the 400 still. Critical third dart, and that goes wide into the 1 segment. So 41 found here for Joe, still stuck in the 400s. And Ron starting to really rocket ahead here. 201 remaining, under 200. Not able to find another triple, but 161. He's done this before tonight. We're after 3 visits, leaving himself an out. Great darts there from the Dreamboat. Joe Ricard looking for that crucial pair in there, but can't do it. Only able to find a ton. So Ron, under no pressure right now, wants to just bring the score down. Didn't have to force the 161, but we've seen this again tonight where under about 200 points, Ron Sargent starts to get a little nervy on bringing his score down to a comfortable out. 118 is still a lot of work here. With a big 180, Joe Ricard can put on a lot of pressure real quick. Not sure what that second dart was trying to do. Looks like he was trying to follow up with another dart in the trip 18 segment. But even that first dart was just high, so still no pressure on Ron, who finds the big first dart. 18 now for double 20 for a big 118, and he misses it again. Wow, so close. The reaction from Ron Sargent tells everything that we need to know. He thought that dart was in. And now Joe Ricard looking to just try and keep steady, not be bothered by that close call, but he's not able to pick up serious points here to really put Ron under threat. 164, long shot opportunity. And Ron going down to double 10. Both guys struggling with double 20 tonight. Up to double 5, so awkward now, looking to get it done. And he's closer to hitting the 5 on the number ring than the actual double itself, so Joe Ricard for a steal of a leg. 164, can he get it done? First dart's high, so can only leave himself a leave now. One more in there, can't get it done, pushes it out, and Joe, who is known to stay on that triple 20, runs the risk of having those darts deflect out. Ron does not want to be waiting around here. Hits the big single 5 for 5 left, 3 or 1. Finds 3 to leave the madhouse. And more opportunities coming the way of Joe Ricard. Ron graciously giving out chances, giving Joe more than 9 lives now. Can he find the 83? Eyeballing his target, looking downstairs. Yeah, well, it's not over yet. The 3 will leave 80, so double, mate. Oh, he went for it, and he gets punished. Finds the big third dart in there, but now passes the ball back to Ron Sargent. Double.
Balboni Darts is the name in darts for Central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects.
But Joe will have the hold of throw here. Ron, this set is on his throw if he's not able to find the break here. So Joe only able to lead off with a 60. Ron, who has been leading off with fantastic scores all night, look to lead off with another one. First dart's a little wild. Second dart's in there. And the third dart just goes high, slightly elevated. 85 found, but that's enough. And Ron, even though he won't be satisfied with it, he at least knows he's out in front early. In a potential break scenario, Joe going downstairs can't grab the switch. Shake of the head there from Joe. He knows that these opportunities might be running out soon in this set if Ron can continue to hammer the triple 20. Needs to find the correction. Eyeballing it. Can't find it. Elevates it too much. So 60 found here. Joe Ricard 382. So still within range. Trying to catch back up. But that might be a tough block. He will stay there. But those flights make it so confusing, so difficult to get around. Sometimes it's just the visual element of having stuff in the way. makes it tough to find that dart in there, and Ron having no trouble so far. Second one way elevated. Third dart just missing by a millimeter. So close. So Joe Ricard, 3:22 remaining. Can't afford to keep missing by finite margins now. Needs to find one right in the middle. Gets it done. So a great correction. Great third dart there from Joe. And now Ron under pressure. 2-5-6 can drop himself down to an out if he can continue to find more of those types of darts. Second dart just high. Might be plenty of space, though. Can't get it done, so 1-5-6 now. And now Joe Ricard, 2-2-2 remaining. Single trip, well, needs the ton now to leave a rather awkward 1-2-2. Maybe going to a different number. Can't grab the trip 19, so 59 found. Ron with the much preferable 1-5-6. Joe marooned on 1-6-3, so not sure what he was going for with that switch. Ron, if he can find another one, can't get it done to leave 16, but the ton will leave 56, so still great darts from Ron. Leave himself 56 after 5 visits to the board. Joe will unfortunately be relying on mistakes from Ron here. Third dart thrown in frustration. You can tell just left his hand a little too early, pushing it towards the board, and Ron finding the big 16 now for 2 darts, a double 20. Breathtaking, sighting it, and needs to find just a little bit lower. Can't make it. Oh my goodness. How many times have we seen that tonight where the correction is just a little too overcooked? And Joe Ricard now 119, finds 57. And he absolutely butchers the opportunity with that second dart. 63 scored. Doing some mental math now. So both guys discussing, I believe Ron actually jumping into the action here. 56 remaining. Finds the big 16. And now Ron Sargent, more opportunities at double 10. Can't afford to miss with Joe waiting in the wings. Going back up to double 5. So double 20, double 10 been so awkward, and double 5 comes to save the day. So Ron Sargent, the man in charge of WPL Season 3, taking the opening set. 3 legs to 1. Not looking to give his good buddy Joe anything for free, telling him, listen, if you want this game, you've got to earn it. And Joe, unfortunately, not able to find the big triples off the rip. Ron looking to put more of this heat on. 3 more legs. Wins Week 7, 85 in response to Joe's 60. So we saw that previously. It's enough. Ron will not be happy with it, but it is enough for him right now. Joe Ricard finds that big second dart. Not able to follow it. The third dart pushing off into the trip 1 segment, but still doing well to keep pace. Ron Sargent, beautiful first dart. Second dart just low, just dipping ever so slightly. Might have glanced off the flight, but the big 1-3-4 from Ron Sargent. Electing to not stay in the neighborhood. I'm going to go to a different town, a different city, and I am going to make a name for myself. And the 1-3-4 is locked in. 80 found here for Joe, and follows up with a big 140 of his own. So call and answer. And now pressure back on Ron, who immediately fires back with a triple 20. Might go, might stay. Elects to stay, finds the big ton, so 182 remaining now for Ron Sargent. That might not have been the smartest choice. Going to the trip 18 might have been a wiser decision, but everything's wiser with hindsight and consideration. And Joe Ricard, back-to-back 140s. Solid darts there, 78 remaining. Ron under a lot of pressure now. Can't afford more darts like that. Wow, 2 in there right on the edge. Needs to try and just knock it off. You feel that with those 2 darts making a wall that he could just bounce it off of them, but unfortunately the deflection goes the wrong way. Leaves himself 147. Joe working with 78. 18 first. Finds 12. So 74? No, 64 left? 66 left, excuse me. It looks like that is a solid take there, I believe. 12. Let me do some math here. I'm not sure if that math is correct. So I don't know if that math was correct, folks. 66. Yeah, that math is not correct, actually. So we are actually going to have to take a pause on that, have the referee come in, because that was not correct. Joe left himself 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a moment of mathematical confusion, Joe leaving himself 2. He found the double bull. You have to give him credit. The referee's coming in. So, going to have to take a moment to fix the tablet here, get the game back in order. But that should be 2 left here. And indeed, the correction has been made. So, you have to give Joe Ricard a lot of props for finding that double bull. But that math, the importance of being able to do math correctly, leaving himself double 1. So, again, big props to Nick Solda, who's acting as an impromptu referee this match. You guys can't hear what the guys were talking about over there, but Joe acknowledging his mistake, saying, hey, Ron, you know what? I'm going to hit it next visit anyway. I just wanted to style a little bit. Of course, he didn't say that. Joe's not like that at all. I'm just making that stuff up. But if he does find it with the first dart here, he has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. And that is indeed the funniest thing I've seen in quite a long time, where he leaves himself 2 on purpose, and then he just takes it out in the first dart. And these guys are laughing about it here in the background. You guys can't see it, but wow. Okay, and what could have been the weirdest way to go about that? Joe Ricard eventually finds his way home and takes out double 1 after leaving himself double 1 with a double bull. Oh, my goodness. Wow. What he believed to be a double bull finish. So what was once heartbreak now turns to jubilation here for Joe Ricard. So we get back underway here. Joe looking to try and get back in focus here. Great second dart. Third dart is money as well. So leading off with a big 1-2-5. Ron only finding 60, but looking to rectify the situation here if he can find a big visit of his own. Second dart can't use the first one as a beneficiary. Third dart finds the middle. So following up with a big ton, but he will still only be in front by a small margin. Joe, who is all of a sudden starting to just unload onto these triple 20s. 180, I believe, is indeed found. Yes, it is. Solid darts here from Joe, putting on a clinic of scoring prowess. My goodness. Ron Sargent looking to follow up with a good visit of his own, but he just pushes it wide. And now Joe Ricard, 196 remaining after 2 visits. Didn't have the best of sets in the previous set, but looking to come back stronger, come back with a vengeance here, finding 60, dropping his score down to 136. So still a pretty good leg so far for Joe. Ron looking to catch back up. 2 darts in there, a 180 of his own would be massive. And looks like, again, we've seen that time and time again tonight. Ron's telling Joe all about it. He hasn't been spectating his games or watching his games, so Ron letting him know. But how many times has that happened tonight where Ron has been right on the edge? First dart's in there. Second dart, double 8. Double 8 for Joe. Able to get it done. The huge 136 for Joe Ricard. Awesome finishing from Joe, punishing the slow start from Ron Sargent. And Joe, 1 leg away from tying up this game at 1 set apiece. Might be nerves, might be adrenaline, Joe not getting off to the hottest of starts there, only leading with 41. What can Ron do to follow up? Well, not much. Able to keep those darts steady, but 60 is just not good enough at this caliber of play. Fortunately for a lot of games, a lot of opponents that you might have, 60 is going to be enough. But for these guys, 70-plus average players, you have to be at least, finding the ton at least every other visit. Ton-plus scores here and there. And Ron Sargent looking to use those first two as a guide, but really putting all of those points on a dime. Frustration vented. Ron, please don't damage the studio, buddy. You will have to pay for it. We have enough money to buy a cave here at the WPL studio to run all of our stuff out of, but we don't have enough money to repair the walls if he punches them. So, Ron, please keep the house in order. Avoid having our interns work the entire break to repair the studio. Able to find a big ton, so Ron will be certainly happier about that visit than the one previous. Joe Ricard working with 3.59. Well behind the pace after 3 visits. Well behind his own pace that he set for himself, really. So Joe looking to try and find a triple here. Can't get it done, just barely high. Rudge in the chat saying Joe has smashed the triple 20 all night long. I'll take your word for it. We weren't able to see that game that he had against you, Rudge, but oof. Not sure if that's an 81 found. Indeed it is. Rudge, thanks so much for the input. I believe it. Again, Joe has been very consistent all season long, so kind of tough to really not believe that, really. Able to find the switch over the trip 18s. Now, that's a great switch. That's something that we haven't seen from Joe Ricard a lot this season, where 2 blocking darts on that triple 20 bed. First couple of weeks, he would shoot for the moon and try and put that dart over the fence. We finally see that mature dart from Joe where he goes across the trip 18 instead of trying to brute force his way through those darts. So, 220 remains now for Joe Ricard. Great first dart. If you can find another one in there, it'll be solid pressure on Ron. Can't do it, pushes it wide. Drops the score down into outshot territory, but 135 versus 140. I'd rather have the 140. And unfortunately, the combination won't go here for Ron, who also pushes this dart out into the 5 segment. Able to correct, able to hit 50, to leave himself 90, but Joe Ricard 135. Feels like anytime it's under 150, it's a threat from this man right here. So we'll have to see what he's able to do about it. Able to find double bull, so 85 remaining now. Oh, tough second dart. 52 found. Leaves him 83. So trip 17 or trip 19, that works too. Leaves him 26. A little bit of an awkward leave, but it's a way down and it's a way out. And that's all he cares about at this stage in the game. He doesn't care what it is. He just wants to look at it. So after a adventure with the math in the previous legs, Joe doing some extra care to use the calculator. Ron needs another single 20. Finds 74, which is I don't think is the correct move. 16 found. He does find it. Wow. So Ron, who should have gone for a single 20, showing everybody that, you know what, it's all preference at the end of the day. As long as you get it done, that's all that matters. Great darts there from Ron Sargent. The Dreamboat finding. I'm just looking at the chat here. Nick Solda says, just do better, Rudge. That's tough. That is really tough. Rudge, don't listen to that man. 60 found off the rip here for Ron Sargent. I'm going to have Rudge and Nick beefing in the chat here for the remainder of the night. And so, Joe Ricard looking to try and keep things steady again. That was a spectacular take. With 90 remaining, the conventional thinking is single 20 if you can't find the triple 20, because that leaves you 70. And then you want to hit another 20 to leave yourself the chance at the double bull. It's the safest way to go. Ron Sargent rolled the dice and lucked out considerably, going for that trip 18 to leave himself double 8. But again, it just shows if you have the confidence in your darts that you can hit that shot, you're going to get a lot of people that say it's not the right way to go. But if you hit it, you silence the crowd, and we move on. And that's where we are right now. Ron Sargent currently trailing Joe Ricard 2-1 here in this second set. Ron able to pick up a big third there. So Joe Ricard looking to, well, pick up the pace here after 2 visits to the board. Not out of the 400, so very slow here. Not the pace that we've seen from Joe. And again, it's the same situation last leg as well, where we've seen Joe really get off the line in a hurry in the past couple of games that we've had the privilege of watching him play, but it might be evaporating, and Ron might be looking to take advantage of this momentum shift. Another ton, not happy with it at all, but 204 versus Joe's 379. Ron, there's not really that much you can be frustrated about. Joe Ricard once again hunting for any triple that he can try and find. He's only able to find 47. Rudge in the chat saying, right back at you, my friend. I can already see Nick pick up his phone, so he has something smart to say, I'm sure. And able to pick up the double bull. Again, this man is incapable of finding the single bull. He's going to hit the double bull every single time in a match situation. It's just unbelievable. And again, Joe is just struggling to put these darts in a straight line here. Not able to find that triple 20. And able to pick it up with that third dart. But Ron Sargent, 119 remaining. Great opportunity here to tie up this set and potentially throw for the set. 100 left. Finds the second dart, double 20. Oh! And Ron was convinced that that third dart was in there, just ever so slightly low. And double 20 has not been a friendly haven for either man tonight. Joe Ricard, who usually makes such a comfortable friend and ally out of double 20, not able to do so tonight. Ron also been struggling with it. But Ron Sargent, not phased. Still plenty of time to get it done here. Double 10. Going back up to double 5. He's gotten lucky here before. Wants to continue that trend. And does he bust? Is he correct? He's going to take a second to think about it. Under no pressure. Finds the big bust. If you're going to bust, folks, you got to bust big. Find that triple. Make it look good. And Ron, again, will be coming back. Joe Ricard can only hope to pressure. Able to find the big ton. So 106, while it's not considerable pressure, pressure is building. Ron can't get it done here. Well wide. Needs to correct inside. Able to get it done, with that second dart. I didn't want to burp on stream there, so I actually caught it. Ladies and gentlemen, that would have been nasty, so I was able to hold that one in there. All this talking nonstop for this long of a period of time does strange things to a man's body. And speaking of strange things to men, we find ourselves in a strange situation here where Joe Ricard was flying away with this set, 2-0. And now Ron Sargent has come crawling all the way back to tie it at 2 legs apiece. And both guys getting off to a little bit of an awkward start here. So a nervy game so far. Who is going to be able to hold their nerves and keep it together down the line? Joe Ricard pushing that dart outside. And 2 darts outside. Uncharacteristic 22. Ron Sargent looking for the punish if he can get it done. Even a single triple is going to hurt badly. There it is. And not able to pick up a second, but a ton will do nicely to put some serious pain on the mind of Joe Ricard, who's just looking to hold it together for this one last leg to push it to a game-deciding set. And once again, not able to pick up a triple, so is the well starting to run dry here for Joe Ricard. Ron seeming to find endless triples here. Does he stay there? Can't get it done, but still a fantastic visit. Ron, serious pressure, desperation on the face of Joe Ricard. 224 remaining for Ron, 378 for Joe, who can't afford to keep coming up dry here. Needs to find at least one. Doesn't get it done, only finds 60, so huge opportunity now for Ron Sargent if he can keep on marching at this pace. 2 tough blockers might move aside elects to stay there and gets punished for it. I think that the dart's a 5. Indeed it is. So Ron sitting at 179. Joe, this might be the 3rd visit in a row here without a triple. It's not. So able to find a ton to leave himself 218. Ron should be going for the 19s here. Correctly goes for it, but finds the big 3. Tough first dart there. Finds a great second dart. Looks like he's staying there. He finds 83. So Joe Ricard sitting all the way back at 218 can only hope to pressure Ron, leaving a very handy 96. 2 triples needed, you feel here for Joe. The 1 maybe pushing his luck, and he can't even find it. 60 found for Joe. 96 remaining for Ron. Can he get it done here and now? Well, he's going to have to go down to the 19s now. Can't get it done either. So 88 remains now for Ron Sargent. I think he's going to go for a trip 16 if he does the math. Goes for the 18 instead. So leaves himself 70. Joe Ricard, we've seen some monster takes from this man in previous weeks. In previous seasons, 158. First darts found. Second darts low. The combination fails on the second dart. And Ron Sargent will be throwing for the game with 70 remaining. Joe able to find 98. So he'll leave 60. Take your pick, folks. Who takes it? 60 versus 70. Ron first crack at it. Does he get it done? Focus. Look at the focus on that man. I love to see it. This guy is dialed in, locked in. Does he get it done? 66 remaining. 16 double bull. And that is the wrong dart. That is the wrong dart, ladies and gentlemen. In that situation, and Ron may be punished for it right here. He should have left himself the double bull. Questionable choice there for the Dreamboat. Joe's able to find the first dart. He struggled on double 20 all night, but he finds it with that second dart, and that is why you leave yourself the double bull opportunity. Ron being punished, and correctly so, for not at least giving himself that opportunity.
Since 2014, U.S. Sports and Apparel has been helping teams, companies, and organizations look their best. From embroidered polos to customized uniforms and fan gear, they have the expertise and the people to do it all. Their catalog includes spiritwear, athletic equipment, and promotional items. From mugs and golf balls to jackets and hoodies, everything is branded to your specifications. For gear that works as hard as you do, trust in U.S. Sports and Apparel to get the job done right.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tied game. 1 set apiece. Ron will be looking to hold his throw and take this set if he can just fend off Joe Ricard. Not able to grab a ton, only able to find 60. So all of a sudden, Joe Ricard, that was a lot of pressure that he was having to stave off there from Ron, who makes a critical error at the end. But credit to Joe for keeping it together, keeping his game steady. Able to lead off here with a big ton 40, so solid darts. And now the pressure is really on Ron, who more or less let that game get away from him to refocus, refine his mental strength, and just keep on pushing ahead. But are we seeing a role reversal here? Joe is struggling to find a lot of triples in the past couple of legs. Now Ron maybe has caught the bug. Great guide, great second dart here for Joe Ricard, and that's a ton. Was looking for a ton 40, but still moving down the board here with some pace. Now putting the pressure on Ron, who's looking to struggle to try and find triples now, only finding 60. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are in the chat watching, now that we're here, who do you think takes it? I'm not going to put up another poll, so you guys will have to type your responses, but let us know who you think is going to take this final game-deciding set. Joe Ricard able to find a huge visit to leave himself 81. After 3 visits to the board, Joe on fire this set, and Ron firing right back with a 140 of his own. My goodness, these guys are flying. And now Joe Ricard, 81 remains. Wanted the trip 15. 66 remaining now. Finds the trip 10, so double 18 for Joe Ricard. And he gets it done, so Joe Ricard, who, well, was given an opportunity at life in the previous set, is now up in front and potentially, well, it's on his throw. So if he finds this defensive throw here, if he holds, he'll be playing for the set and playing for the night. If he can just keep it steady. Nick says Tom Curtin from the top rope. All of a sudden a substitute in the match. Here comes Tom, dropping in from the airplane. That would be quite special, of course. I think the staff here at the WPL studio would be quite upset with the massive hole in the in the roof and the ceiling, but you never know. Maybe we'll have some acrobatics planned for Season 4. Have guys jumping into the match from the upper ropes, upper rafters. Maybe we should just get into wrestling. We'll have to discuss that as time goes on. Ron looking to find more darts in there. Triple 20 found, single 20 found, and only finding a ton. Another shake of the hand, another look to the sky here from Ron, who's just not been able to find ton 80s with ease tonight. Joe Ricard only able to find 5, but that's a good marker dart. WPL. All right, somebody stop Nick. He's getting too many creative ideas. That would be pretty cool, though. And Ron Sargent, 341 remaining, needs to find a triple, though he might have to trade in his soul or something equally as valuable to get this triple 20 flow going again. Joe Ricard has really picked up the pieces and really found his pace. Nick says we already have the belt already. That's true. Joe Ricard finding a ton. Hey, man, I'm trying to cast here. Of course, guys, I can't wait for next season when you get to experience the craziness of 2 people on the mic. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ron not able to find that critical third dart, so only finding 77 Joe. 156 remaining here. Had a look at this previous, not able to get it done here. Finds a big second dart. Going downstairs now. Finds 68, so not the third dart that he was looking for, but still a great leave. 88, Ron 204. No way home here for Ron. Can only hope to hit big and pray that Joe misses. Able to find a ton, so it's pretty good pressure here from Ron Sargent, but Joe Ricard, his finishing has been, well, decent tonight, but it has been spectacular in the past couple of weeks here, looking to clean this up. Finds 60, so double 14 now for Joe Ricard. Oh, he didn't miss by much. Third dart, lucky, and he goes wide. So 28 remains for Joe Ricard. Ron, 104, looking to clean this up and tie up this game-deciding set at 1 leg apiece. Finds 18, 86 remaining, so wants to stay there for 32. Looks like he's doing some calculations in his head, trying to figure this out, making sure that he's lined up correctly on the arc. He's sighting that triple 18, can't get it done, so he's only hope. And you have to feel that that might have been a throwaway dart there from Ron. Not happy with that second dart. Joe Ricard just looking to play cleanup crew and take this second leg in this third set. Able to get it done, first dart. So Ron, if we go all the way back to the end of the second set, he had the opportunity to hit 16 to leave double bull, potentially take the game then and there. And now he finds himself in a situation where if he has one more loss, it's over for tonight. Cannot afford any more mistakes. Ron Sargent playing for his life tonight, not able to find the ton 80 either. So how many 140s have we seen from Ron Sargent tonight? It's got to be 10 plus, I think. My goodness. This man just not able to buy a 180 for his life tonight. Unlucky. Joe Ricard leading off with a 60. So already well behind Ron Sargent. But again, the momentum seems to be firmly in the grasp of Joe Ricard, who can afford to now have, let Ron hold his throw here. But Knowing Joe, he's going to be pushing every single time that he comes to the board here for the maximum amount of points. First dart's in there. Second dart's in there as well. Holding on by a thread. Does he stay there? He does, and he finds the big 180. Not afraid to knock that second dart out, keeping that grouping tight. And, man, he is rewarded with a 180 of, well, one of many that we've seen tonight. And Ron, again, not able to find a triple, so pressure is building. The kettle is starting to whistle. And is time running out here for Ron Sargent if Joe can continue to find big darts? Not able to find a ton 40, only can grab an 83. So Ron Sargent, 256 remaining, needs to find a triple. Thinking about his options here, might be going to the 18s, does find the trip 18 for 94 score. Joe Ricard, 178 remaining now. The averages have really crept back up. And Joe Ricard, 76.39. Ron, in the previous game, was hanging out in the mid-80s against Nick Soldo. Couple legs there. Of course, there were some wild swings in the averages, but now the advantage seems to be rightly deserved and rightly earned by Joe Ricard here. Was only able to find 60. Leave himself 118. Ron Sargent no way out from 162. 142 remaining now. Try to go for that trip 18 switch. Might be staying there. Does find that. So great 92 score there from Ron Sargent. Drops his score down to 70, I believe. And Joe Ricard working with 118 now. Can he get it done here and now? First dart's just low. 98 remaining for Joe Ricard. Does he stay there? Finds another big 20 for 78. So might be going to the 18s now. Can't find the triple, but he will leave himself 60. And Ron, 70 remaining. Can he get it done? Ooh, again, a similar situation. Needs to go for the 16. And finds the trip 10, but that's a risky play, and he doesn't get it done. So Ron Sargent so close to bailing himself out. I think even Joe raised his eyebrows at that bit as well. But now 3 darts at 60. Just needs to find one to give himself opportunities. There's that first dart. 2 darts at tops. Well low on that second dart, down to double 10. And he pulls it outside. So Ron Sargent has earned, or maybe not even earned, another look at this double 18. Can he find it? Hits the number ring. Pulls it outside, so third time's the charm. And it looks like it is in there, so Ron Sargent surviving. Match darts from Joe Ricard. Looks like they're discussing maybe a chip in the paint on that number ring there. No matter. We can afford to repair that, Ron. Just please don't put a hole in our WPL studio wall. That's going to be a lot more of a extensive repair. And now Joe Ricard, who had a brief opportunity there to have this game already be over, doesn't want to give Ron another leg here. Doesn't want to have this go all the way. Leading off with the 60 is just not good enough, but can Ron keep it together? Can't do it, only finding 26. So Joe saying come on to himself. He knows that this is a huge opportunity. If he can find a big visit, might be a tough blocker, but he's going to stay there. Going to try and force his way through, and that's the risk that you run. Going down to the 19s may have been the better play, can only find 60. And Ron going down to the 19s himself, not liking what he's been experiencing on that 20 segment. Finds the big triple with that third dart to save that visit, but still behind this man right here, 381. Even a ton-plus score, a 180 here would be just spectacular. Second dart just a little high. 140 can do, though, and he does find the big 140, so great darts there from Joe. 392 for Ron. Desperation visit. Needs to find 2 triples, you feel. And that just might be a killer. If he's not able to find it, Ron doing a little bit of a shake of the head, a little bit of a laugh, nervous laugh. because he knows that his race might be run if Joe is able to keep on going at this stellar pace. Second dart so low, so unlucky, but third dart pushing outside, so maybe a lack of focus from both guys here. Joe, of course, under 200 points. Ron just hovering around the mid-300s. And 2 darts in there. Can Ron finally have his first 180? Oh, he hits it! He hits it! He hits it! Boom! Ron Sargent, so excited to hit that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be clipped faster than you can say, clip it, clip it. It's been clipped. We're going to have that on the highlight reel for later videos. But man, oh man, that's the level of frustration that Ron has been experiencing all night tonight. He has come so close where that 180 warrants that reaction. Down to 168 now, not an out, but he doesn't care. He wanted that 180 so bad, nothing else can even come close to the elation he felt of hitting that. Able to find 84. Brings the score down to 84, so 154 remaining for Joe. Can he find it? No, he can't. First part of the combination fails him. Second dart is equally as ugly as that first dart, so tough darts here for Joe. And not able to find that trip 19, so really rough visit there from Joe. Only able to secure himself 42 points. Ron Sargent wants triple 20. 64 remaining now. He should go 14, but he may not go for it. Finds the 48. So 84 minus 68 leaves him 16. He's able to get it done. This man is nuts. This is the wrong way to go. This is incredible. I have never seen a man pin so much on such a low percentage shot and hit it. And I really have to give Ron a lot of credit because this guy is playing on the edge and he's getting away with it. But now it all comes down to a game-deciding leg. Who's gonna flinch first? Ron Sargent not able to pick up a triple. This man has been reborn after finding a 180. And Joe Ricard is looking to send this guy back to the shadow realm if he can, but really needs to pick up a triple here. Does find it with that third dart. Again, when you have that dart that pushes out to the 5 or 1, you more or less have to hit a triple 20. Ron able to find one of his own now, so pressure starting to bubble here early on in this leg. Is Joe Ricard going to be able to keep pace? It's a good guide, that first dart. Second dart's walking its way down. Third dart goes a little high. So is that a critical mistake from Joe Ricard, who now not able to keep pace with Ron? Ron starting to run. The sails are starting to get filled with fresh air. 140 secured from Ron Sargent. Joe Ricard needs a 140 of his own to really keep pace, and that's a killer second dart. Finds the big ton, but it's not enough. Ron Sargent, 201, can get himself into a stellar potential outshot here. If he can find a triple or two, can't find two, can't even find one, so only finding 60. Joe Ricard, 256. Needs to find a big visit. Has to find a 140. Needs to find a ton. Can he get it done? Takes aim. Going downstairs, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but he did not like the look on those 20s, so who am I to judge? 197 remaining. Ron Sargent, 141. Can't find the first part, so, well, that gets rid of the 1, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not all that bad. Able to eliminate the 41. And this is desperation now from Joe Ricard. He has had so many chances to close out this game. And is it going to get away from him? More or less has to go downstairs now. Eyes stay upward, but he goes down. Able to find the big 137 pressure. Ron Sargent blowing some hot air into his hands. He knows this has to go. Finds the first dart. Goes high on the second dart, needs the correction, and he pulls it low. Ron Sargent. Oh my goodness, we apologize for that. We're going to get fined, unfortunately. Ron, thank you. We'll deduct that from your pay at the end of the season. And Joe Ricard needs to 19 now to leave himself one dart at double 20. And he pulls it low. His favorite double has not been his friend tonight. And we are seeing both guys really struggle on double 20 all night. And you have to feel Ron is not going to miss. How many chances is either guy going to have? Ron sights it, goes wide on the first dart. Second dart's wide as well. Third dart, not able to find it, I don't think. I think it's 3 wide. Ron looks back, trying to scare his buddy, saying, I may have found it, but it's not there. Joe Ricard, a new lease on life. Up to double 5. It's over! Joe Ricard, after so many scares from the Dreamboat, is able to find his way out and secure the final week of WPL Season 3. 2 sets to 1, 3 legs to 2 in that final game-deciding set.
Looking for a way to support the Worcester Premier League directly? Check out our coffee page. Every dollar donated goes right back into the league, helping us cover operations and build a bigger prize pool for the players. Your support makes it possible for us to keep the WPL growing season after season. Once again, your donation helps us keep the competition thriving and the darts flying. Visit our page at coffee.com/WPL darts to make a contribution today.